Hello friends, this is Hedda. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am setting up my bullet journal for December. It is the last month of the year and the last month I'll be setting up in my current bullet journal. In this video I'm going to be using some of my own stickers, some stickers from the shop, some stickers from my Patreon. I'm going to be using some Copic Fineliners and also some Ohuhu brush markers, some zebra Mildliners, just a lot of colors because December is gonna be a colorful month in my journal. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, this is a great time to do it because my next few videos will be 2024 setups and we all love those. We're gonna start with my cover page. I went for a kind of snow bunny theme for December. I'm not really one for Christmas themes, but I do like to have some Christmas elements in my December setups. This one's gonna be more wintry, but with a little bit of Christmas hints here and there. So I started with a gray Copic fineliner for the bunny, and then I'm using some blue fineliners for the snow. My cover page is going to feature two bunnies building a snow bunny. 2023 was the year of the rabbit. Last year in December, I also did a bit of a rabbit theme, kind of in preparation of the year of the rabbit, and I really enjoyed that, and I feel like we've come full circle with December this year also being rabbit themed, or maybe this one is more like hare themed because these are definitely larger, so they're probably hares rather than rabbits. I went for gray and blue fineliners because I felt like it would be a softer image and I didn't want to use too much black in the setup. I still used black for titles and stuff, so that makes the titles and headers going to stand out a little bit more. And then for everything else I used blue or gray fineliners. These Copic ones are really great because they're just like black fineliners for drawing except they are colored. Copic doesn't have that many colors for fineliners. I think the other colors are like sepia and green and kind of like a wine red. Other than that, I don't think they have very many other colors. Normally around this time I would announce that I have like a new sticker collection in the shop with this theme, but this month I don't. I only made stickers for my Patreon for the Happy Mail tier, so anyone who joins my Patreon during November will get stickers with this theme. I decided against doing a sticker collection this month because honestly, I've had too much to do. My life has been so busy with the advent calendars, and I also released washi tapes and enamel pins in my shop, plus one sticker collection that was made up of 12 sticker sheets, so one for each month of 2023, so they're like 12 different themes. And that was enough for November. I just didn't have any more in me, and I think that because I've been working so much on those things and being just a little bit behind on everything else, I won't be releasing any new stickers in December either, and maybe not even in January. We'll see how that goes, but I just need a tiny break from making stickers for my shop. I'll still be making them for Patreon, of course, but just, taking a little break because it's what I need right now. And in the meantime, I have a ton of stickers in my shop already, so there's a huge variety in there. You can see that I included some red details here, and that's kind of my Christmas hint. Red and blue is not really a color combination I use a lot. It's very in your face, I think. But I wanted to use like softer reds and softer blues and then kind of a grayish for the bunnies. And I'm not coloring in the bunnies all the way, but I'm using a grayish color for the shading kind of, and then leaving the rest of the bunnies white because I want them to still be white. I don't want them to be beige or gray or anything, so just doing the shading. And then for the snow I'm using a blue color even though snow is also white, but but I wanted a little bit of contrast between the bunnies and the snow, so that's why I did blue for the snow. And sometimes the snow does look blue. To be completely honest with you guys, I am very excited that 2023 is ending because this notebook It's a B5, it's really big. It has been a challenge. I feel like I've done my best, and many spreads I have enjoyed a lot. Others have been difficult to set up. You know, after I make them and use them, it's fine, but the brainstorming and trying to figure out what will look nice on such a big format has been a little bit of a challenge. I mean, it's been both good and bad, I think, because it is important to challenge ourselves, and it's definitely been a learning process for me. I've learned a lot, but I am excited to go for a smaller notebook for 2024. You'll see the one I went for in my 2024 setup. It'll be out in December. I haven't actually set it up yet at the time this video goes up because there's just been so many other things to do, so I haven't been able to set it up yet, but I am very excited. I have lots of plans, I have lots of ideas. It's gonna be fun. To kind of complete my December cover page, I of course had to write December. I used a Tombow Fudenosuke for this. It's just a simple black brush pen, and then I made a frame with a zebra Mildliner. I kind of got this idea from Julianne Doodles because she tends to make these frames around her spreads, and she'll like draw something maybe a little bit smaller in the middle of the page or use stickers or whatever, and then kind of frame it with a marker. And I thought that this would be a really great way to frame the spread because, you know, the page is really big. My drawing isn't that big, so I felt like it would kind of complete it. And then I used some washi tapes as well. These are both from Paper Monogatari. These are winter themed, and I haven't been able to use winter themed stationery in a while, so I thought that it would just be a nice little touch. There's a little bit green in them, and I did try to avoid too much green because I was already doing blue and red and I didn't want to mix in a lot of green too, but I do use a little bit of green later on in the setup. I am setting up all of my weekly spreads in this video as well, so this is like all of December. Moving on to the page next to my cover page, this will be my December calendar. I'm doing it a little bit different this month. I'm doing a list calendar, kind of like a standard Ryder Carroll bullet journal calendar. The way this works is that I'm just doing a list of all of the days of the month. And then to make it a little bit easier for me to visualize the month, I used a zebra Mildliner to highlight the weekends. I've done this before and it's always worked really well for me because when you just see a list of numbers, it's kind of hard to tell which day is which because I'm not actually writing the days and I can't see the calendar visually in front of me. So I think this is a good compromise for that. I wanted to just switch it up this month, to be honest, just try something a little bit different. And with the cover page having the frame around it, like creating this box, having a box on the other side that was just as big just felt a little bit too monotone, if that makes sense. So yeah, just switching it up. For the title, or kind of the top of the calendar, I just wrote important dates in December. And at this point, I would maybe sometimes use the rest of the space for more planning stuff, like create a kind of a monthly dashboard. But I'm actually doing that on the next spread. So I decided to fill the rest of the spread with some decoration. I'm using again the same washi tape from Paper Monogatari and also a Christmas themed washi tape from Marigo Nasuli. And then at the bottom of the spread, I'm drawing another hare who is trying to make a snow bunny. I just thought that, you know, this spread is going to be just the calendar and I don't have to use all of this space for productivity purposes. It's okay to just have decoration, especially with this large notebook. You know, it's kind of been, I don't want to say a struggle, but a challenge, I guess, to get the balance between planning and decoration right for me, because when you have so much space, you can fill it with so many lists, you know? And on the next spread, I do that. I make so many lists. So on this spread, I just wanted to have some decor, just have a little bit of fun. It's mostly decorative. And yeah, it's a big contrast to the next spread that I'll be setting up. I also did some hand lettering here on the spread, because hand lettering a quote is just as good as any other decoration in my opinion. It's like drawing something, but it's words instead of people or things or animals. So for this quote, I used a 0.5 blue Copic fine liner for every other line, and then for the other words I used a Fudenosuke sign pen. This one is the color gray blue. It's really pretty. I think the last time I used it was probably in my June setup, because that's the last time I did like a very blue theme. And it's pretty similar to the blue zebra Mildliner, only a little bit darker, so I felt like it worked really well. It's also very similar to the color that I used for the snow, except the nib is a little bit finer, so you get those thinner, more delicate lines. For the red sparkles and stars, I actually used an Ohuhu fine liner. It's a 0.5 size in red to outline the stars, and then I used Ohuhu brush markers to color them in, and I used two different reds, a lighter, more pink one, and then a more red. And I think that using two different reds created a little bit of dimension. And then I also used the blue and red fine liners to create some smaller sparkles, just for variety's sake. I apologize for my rusty voice in this video. I've had a very social weekend, so a lot of talking loud, a lot of singing, and it is winter. So yeah, I just sound like this for a little bit, but hopefully it will go away soon. I really like how my December cover page turned out, because it has a soft image. Like, there is a lot going on, but it's all very soft. It doesn't feel like it's too much. I did change one of the washi tapes on the cover page to the Marigona Suli one. It's more Christmas themed, just because I thought I needed a little bit of red on the cover page as well. And then we move on to the next spread, which is going to be my spread of lists for this month. There's so many lists on the spread, pretty much as many lists as I could fit. This first list will be my main tasks list for the month. And here I used the zebra Mildliner to highlight every other line, because I'm not framing this list, so I wanted to just make it clear for myself where the list starts and ends, if that makes sense. And then the title will be on top of the red bar at the top. Next to it, I'm doing my habit tracker. I'm using the blue fine liner here again to make little calendars for the month. I used a 0.3 for the inner lines and then a 0.5 for the outer lines, so that the outer line is a little bit thicker than the rest. I just feel like this is a nice little touch. It's not important, but it looks nice. If you are not sure how a habit tracker works, it's pretty simple. I write the habit that I want to track at the top of the calendars. I don't have that much room to write, but it's enough for me. My handwriting is pretty small. For example, work out. And then for every day of the month that I do that habit, I cross off the day. So if I work out every day of the month, the little calendar will be filled with X's, but you know, that's not gonna happen. I don't think I've ever filled up an entire habit tracker calendar, because I don't have any habits that I do every day, except for working maybe, but that's not really a habit. I decorated the bottom of the spread with a little bit of washi tape, because washi tape is a lifesaver when you don't really know what to do with the space, and I didn't want to run the list all the way to the bottom of the spread, so a little bit of washi tape just works so well. And then I wanted to do kind of a big title for the entire spread. Obviously there's going to be a lot of smaller headers on the spread, like the tasks list and the habit tracker, but I wanted to have like one bigger title. So with my Copic fine liner in blue, I wrote dashboard, and then I used one of the Ohuhu brush pens to hand letter December, because this is the only place on the spread that December is going to show up, and I just wanted to have that little pointer to which month it is, even though of course I will remember myself, but it just looks nice. I definitely did a little bit more with this December header than I did on the cover page, because here I didn't just do the hand lettering, I also outlined the letters and I did a little drop shadow. I used the blue fine liners for this as well, and so the outlining I did with a 0.3 fine liner, and then the drop shadows I did with a 0.1 fine liner. So the drop shadow is more delicate and not so overpowering. That's kind of my idea behind that. And then of course I needed a title for my tasks list, so I used the Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen to write monthly tasks, and then instead of drawing bunnies for the spread, I used my own stickers actually. I mean, I already drew them, so why not? The sticker fit perfectly here, so I just put it down and then I drew some sparkles around it just like I did on the cover page. And this way the title of the spread is this entire top part of this page. And I quite like the look of it, to be honest. With all of these lists and so much planning happening on this spread, it was important to me to have at least some decoration as well, because just looking at a spread with lists and no colors or decorations, that would be pretty sad for me. I don't do well with a super minimalistic setup, so yeah, I am pretty happy with how this turned out. And then now we can skip over to the second page. Here I used some washi tapes again at the top and at the bottom, and also a little bit to divide the different lists to make sure that each list kind of stands alone, or that, you know, I don't mix up the list or that they feel too muddy. I used different colors for the titles, and I also used different colors for the list itself. So for some of them I did lines, for some of them I used the highlighters again, and then some washi tape to kind of split the page a little bit. So I have a section for YouTube. This is where I put my plans for YouTube videos for December. And then I have one for Instagram, which is mostly about reels. I find that I need more help kind of planning and figuring out reels than I do posts. So I thought I could have this little section, and then I can kind of just write down my ideas and then I can cross them off once I do them. Here I used the blue highlighter again for both the monthly tasks, the Instagram, and then this third list, which I don't think I even made a title for while I filmed this video, because I wasn't quite sure what to use it for yet. This bottom list I wanted to use for Christmas presents, because I celebrate Christmas and I need gifts for my family and my boyfriend. I don't really give gifts to friends. My friend group and I were pretty chill with presents, and we kind of all agree that it's a lot nicer to get something that you really want than just get something random just for the sake of giving a gift, you know? So unless there is something very specific, we don't really give each other gifts. I always try to be a little bit conscious when I do gifts. It's hard to find good gifts for everyone. I want the gifts I give to be gifts that will be appreciated, so I think this year I'm going to give away some experiences, because making memories is maybe the best gift, I think. So especially for my family, I'd like to give them some experiences rather than a thing. Personally, I really like receiving books and like gift cards, which I know gift cards are like super boring really, but I like them because then I can buy something that I really like. And also I'm really bad at like making a wish list. I feel like the things that I want are either really expensive and I need to save up for a long time to get them, or they're things that I think like, oh, I might as well just buy this myself if I want it. But now, you know, with my apartment, I can wish for things like kitchen stuff that I would like to have, but I haven't gotten yet, or homewares, stuff like that. So really this year there are lots of opportunities, and I should really get on to writing that list. And now we move on to the next spread, which is going to be a weekly spread. Like I said, I set up all of my weekly spreads in this video as well. Well, technically I'm only setting up this one weekly spread, and then the next spread I actually set up ahead of time because I just needed a little bit of journaling time where I didn't film and it was late at night, and it's already difficult enough to get the lighting right this time of year. You might notice that this video is a little bit yellow or like a little bit darker than normal, but we are nearing the darkest time of the year and the sun sets really early here, and at least for now the snow isn't sticking to the ground, and so it's pretty gray and dark outside. But you know, I still want to make videos, so just gonna get through the winter as usual. That's all we can do really. So my weekly spreads for December are very similar to my November weekly spreads. I have posted a couple of those over on Instagram, and what that means is that I do 1 week on one page. Since it is a B5 notebook, it is really large, so I feel like I have enough room for a whole week on one spread, especially because I have all of these lists on the other spread, and I also have a separate weekly tasks list here on each weekly spread, so I can write down the bigger tasks that I spend several days doing, and then each daily section is reserved for specific tasks for that day, or appointments or meetings, stuff like that. So that's why I don't need that much space on each day. I'm not doing any diary entries in this journal for December, and if I want some extra space, I do have some empty pages behind December that I could use for anything really. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this setup. I think it will work pretty well. It's worked well for November, so I am positive that it will work well for December as well. I did have an instance where I actually forgot to hit record, so we will suddenly jump to a more decorated spread, so apologies for that. But you'll see me place a lot of stickers. These are from the Winter Days collection from my shop. I released these last year and I really like them, and the blue is just perfect for this theme, obviously. I did mix in a little bit of red here and there on the spread as well, because the next two weekly pages, they actually have more of a classic Christmas theme, because I did want something more Christmassy for that period around Christmas. And amazingly enough, December ends on a Sunday, so no half weeks in sight, just 4 weekly spreads, and that's it. Although I don't actually set it up in this video, I will show you the final weekly spread in the flip through in a second. I am really happy with how this whole setup turned out. It's definitely more doodly than most of my bullet journal setups, and it's really cute. I like that. It's really fun and playful and cute. So yeah, that's all of the spreads, and now we can go back to the beginning, look through all of the spreads. If you watched the video all the way to the end, be sure to put a bunny emoji in your comment. If you want these bunny stickers that you saw me use in this video, you can join my Patreon during the month of November, but you can also get the 2023 Mochibujo bullet journal collection sticker bundle over in my shop, ikigaipapier.com. I'll put a link in the description box, because those have extra sheets, and there is one with bunnies on it as well for December. I know that I've been saying this for a while now, that I've had a lot to do, and that is still true, and I hope that the workload gets a little bit less very soon, so that I can feel like I'm more on top of things. But for now, just know that I am super grateful for all of you who watch my videos, anyone who buys from my shop, and especially my patrons, because my patrons are the ones who lets me know that I have a somewhat stable income, and they let me experiment with printable stickers, and it's all really fun. And they're all so creative as well. We have a Discord server, and I get lots of ideas from seeing their spreads and their pen pal letters and just things that they get up to. So thank you so much to all of my patrons. You guys are awesome. And that's pretty much it for today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. as I was finishing up this flip through, I was thinking about how my journal has gotten so heavy, and I actually decided to weigh it. So I got out my little letter scale and I weighed my journal. One of my patrons told me that her new Notebook Therapy B5 notebook weighed around 80 grams, and my notebook now weighs 1,050 grams, so that's over a kilo for a notebook. And I have cut out pages to create Dutch doors. So really, I've added a lot of stuff to this notebook, and it'll soon be time to say goodbye to it, which is always a little bit bittersweet. But that's all for now. I hope that you're all having a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!